Hi, welcome to Fantastic Feast. I'm your host, Phan. Today we are going to make a very simple, as always, dish that I think anybody can make as long as you have a little bit of time and you want to eat something healthy, but also something fun, I guess, that you can show off. It's a very colorful dish. It is mi sao yang thap cam. Because I have a butcher that does the slicing for me already, it takes away a lot of the extra work that I'd have to do slicing the beef. So the beef is sliced, the shrimp is already peeled and deveined. So that makes life a lot easier. All I'll need to do is slice up the chicken. Basically, I'll show you how to do the mushrooms. All of this is washed already. So basically, it's just a lot of building. I think this is a really simple dish, but it's something that when I have friends over, it's a nice dish that I can make for them to eat that's kind of fresh and kind of like a restaurant quality meal. And so with shiitake mushrooms, you want to remove the stem. These mushrooms I just slice. And you can cut it into fours like this, or you can even do it like this, where they're kind of 3/4 shreds. So it's up to you, preference. Mushrooms are done. What I like about this dish also is that it's just building and assembling. And here's the crown of a broccoli. I think they look like little tree shrubs. So what I like to do is just cut them into smaller bite-sized pieces. Too big of broccoli is not fun to eat. So something like this, I'll cut into smaller ones. Okay. Next is the bell peppers. I have orange and red. And this mainly is for color. Slice it in half, remove the seeds. And actually I find that you can save these seeds and just throw it out in your garden. And sometimes they'll grow, which I like. And then you're just going to chop it like so. Not too thin, but also not too thick. And also a red onion here. What you want to do is just cut it, take off the skin. And actually, I love the red onion just because it's such a beautiful color. So then I think it's like confetti in this dish. Makes everything look so colorful, and actually we eat with our eyes. So when we see something that looks colorful and really fun to eat, then we are salivating, we want to eat it. So, and then I remove this part here. And cut it into wedges. Cilantro, just for the end piece. So I just cut it in half like that just so we can garnish later. If you have minced garlic already, you can use the food processor and make your life a lot easier. This one, it doesn't have to be very minced, so you can get away with like a rough chop. So that's what we'll do. And I obviously, every time I cook anything, garlic is a centerpiece of it. Okay, looks like a heart. What I like to do is I cut it in half so it's not so thick. Okay. So now that we've prepped the vegetables and the meats, we are ready to get started on cooking this. And the way I like to do it is a 3-step process where I cook the vegetables separately, and then I cook the meat separately, and then I combine it. And then after that, I'll fry the noodles so that it's crispy and fresh. and then I'll top it. So then it becomes a kind of an assembly line where you're doing the veggies and the meat separately. That way everything gets seasoned, so it's just not bland. But I find that this is something that is more tasty than the ones you eat in the restaurants, because you get a chance to flavor the meat separately and then the vegetables. So it's 2 steps of seasoning and flavoring. So I think that makes a little bit of a difference. So first what we'll do is we'll take a saute pan. If you have a wok, that's even better. And we'll cook the veggies. What we'll need is just a splash of oil here. And I want to show you how to make a slurry too. Roughly about 3 tablespoons of water, and then you mix it together. And it'll be a little bit thick to mix it around, but this is an essential part of the sauce process to make sure you don't have like a watery sauce over the noodles. And always the broccoli goes first because it takes the longest. Quarter cup. Cook it for about a minute or so until you can see it starts to get translucent. And then from there I'll add the mushrooms and the bell peppers. And I'll save this so I can transfer that over. But look how beautiful the coloring is on this. If you wanted, you could also add baby corn, which I actually love, but I didn't think to add to this time because this is usually the stuff that is kind of the staple for me. And here, I'll add some salt and pepper. Just a sprinkle. Pepper. And then I'll also sprinkle a little bit of sugar on there. I would say half a teaspoon. And then I just add a smidgen of oyster sauce here. About a tablespoon. I just love the colorfulness of it. And this also tricks you into eating a lot of vegetables, which is also very good. Okay, this is about ready. So I'm going to slide this off here. I'll set this aside. And using that same pan, I'll add some more oil. And this time I'll add the garlic and the red onion. And then I'll add the chicken and the beef and the shrimp last. Actually, I'll only add half of this. Shrimp takes a lot less time to cook, so I'll add that in a little bit. And then from here, same kind of seasoning, salt, sprinkle of sugar, and I'll add the shrimp. Say about 3 tablespoons. You want to mix it up again because if you leave it sitting, it'll get kind of clumpy again. So you add the veggies back in. At this point, I will take it off the heat. And then I'll fry my noodles. So now that you have your veggie mix ready to go, we will do the noodles now. And this is actually a pretty quick process. So you turn the heat on, and I like to use like a saucepan that's not too big, because then I can make the noodles smaller. It's easier, and I won't use as much oil. You can use canola oil or vegetable oil. Pour about halfway. It's ready. The heat is ready by dropping in a piece of noodle and seeing if it pops up, and it does. So it's ready. As you can see, it kind of bubbled over pretty fast, so make sure not to do too much. They're fresh noodles, so I think it tastes better. Okay. This over. And actually, I like the size of this pot, because when I make this, I feel like this is one individual serving. So for me, I actually prefer to serve it like that. Each person gets their own individual plate of mi sao yang. Versus at this point, you can make adjustments to the seasoning to make sure it tastes the way you want it to. And that is it. And I'll show you how to assemble this. Okay. Garnish. That was pretty easy. It just took a little bit of time assembling and putting all the pieces together. And I have this giant meal that could easily feed at least 4 people, but depending on how hungry you are. So I did it 2 different styles where you can serve it individually, each person, or just a big plate like this where you could share it like family style. So I will dig into it and taste it, but I had a little bit of help. I'm gonna, okay. Very yum. Crunchy with the noodles, very fresh. And then I have a little bit of everything. I have a little bit of chicken, a little bit of shrimp, beef. So it's like I can't get bored. It's yum. Broccoli. Matthew. Coming up after the break, I'll show you how to make a green tea pandan sugar cookie that is so delicious, so fragrant that you're gonna love it. You can give it away as gifts or have it as an appetizer or as a dessert after your main meal. Join us after the break.